I'm Kirly-Sue, and welcome to Kirly-Sue's Plant-Based Show with me, your host, Kirly-Sue. Joining me today is the lovely Theresa Hedges. Theresa, welcome to Kirly-Sue's Kitchen. Yes.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Yes. So tell us about yourself, what it is that you do. So for our viewers and listeners, tell us about what it is that you do.
Okay, I'm a writer. I write novels and screenplays and plays as well. And I'm Welsh. I live in Wales and I'm a vegan.
Ah, okay. Definitely. And tell me about your vegan journey, how it started and so forth. Tell me about your vegan journey.
Okay. Well, it's been a long one, as most journeys tend to be. It started off pretty much when I was a child because I had allergies, lots of allergies. And I mean, fast forwarding to sort of about 10, 15 years ago, I was in the middle of a really stressful Ofsted inspection at school. And I had the results back from an allergy test the same week, in which it told me, well, apart from the usual things that, I have an intolerance for meat and beer and wine and blah, 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 and all these sort of things. It said I couldn't have chocolate. Now, you know what it's like? You never, ever tell a woman she can't have chocolate, particularly not a stressed one.
I think that's illegal.
I think it is. There is somewhere in the Geneva Convention somewhere about it. But it turned out actually that they were more specific, and it was actually milk chocolate. And I sort of rang my mum up in floods, like, "Oh, they told me I can't have chocolate. My life is over." And she said, "Oh, didn't you know you're allergic to milk?" No. She said,
okay.
"Don't you remember when you were little, I used to give you I didn't used to give you cow's milk. I used to give you goat's milk." And I said, "I remember you giving me something that tasted like it was off." And she said, "Yeah, that was the goat's milk." So, I mean, so it kind of went from there. And I had always had a problem with eating meat, but I think I had assumed that was down to my mum's cooking. But as a student, the first thing I did was to go veggie, because I think as a student, you spread your wings, you're out from home, you do something drastic. And so, I went veggie. And then so a few years later, the disconnect, the sort of the cognitive dissonance was kind of gnawing away at me. And I just thought, flip, let's do it. And I went vegan. However, I had been quite strict until the wonderful thing called internet forums came along, and I joined a group because, hey, let's all support each other. Yeah. And one day there was a question, and somebody quite friendly had said, well, hey, let's get to know each other and tell us about how you started your vegan journey. I thought, well, they used the phrase vegan journey, so I thought that's going to be a good thing. And they said, well, tell us how you started, why you started, and there are no wrong answers. There was a wrong answer, and I gave I gave it. And that was to say that, it started off with allergies, and the wind changed, should we just say. And I got called a lot of unpleasant names. And after that, I kind of wasn't quite so rigid, which I deeply regret now. I mean, I didn't not be vegetarian, and I didn't eat anything, obviously, that would make me ill. So it was just like not checking every single label. But then after a while, I thought, you know what, I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face. So after about a year or so, I thought, and I became thoroughly vegan. And I have seen so many people since say that, it doesn't matter, where you start and how long it takes you. So that made me feel good, because I felt really bad because one of the things that they'd said was, you will never, ever, ever be a proper vegan because you went vegan for the wrong reasons. And luckily...
That's quite judgmental.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was a sort of a delicate little flower and crumbled. But no, it's nice to know that sort of mentality is kind of fading away a bit now. Yeah. I mean, you do come across the odd one, but no, I think it doesn't matter. I don't think the animals care why you're not hurting them, as long as you're not hurting them.
Yeah,
they don't care.
I think everyone has their own reasons and their own journey. For me, being a vegan, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, which is a practicing Christian. And Seventh-day Adventists, well, not all, but a lot of Seventh-day Adventists are vegan and vegetarian.
Right.
Some do eat meat and fish, but only certain types of meat and fish.
Right.
So it's we're encouraged to be plant-based, basically.
Right. Okay.
And it's something that when they look at the healthiest people in the world, the healthiest groups of people, Seventh-day Adventists, we are one of them. Yes, because we believe in healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, and keeping healthy as well. So yes, so everybody has a different reasons. Mine primarily was health reasons, because I thought it's healthier to to have a plant-based diet. Some people think, oh, if you don't go vegan because of the animals. I mean, I always look at it this way. I'm a happy vegan. I'm not an angry one. So I never say to anyone they have to do anything. I just say these are the facts, and what they want to do after that, that's totally up to them. I'm not here to judge.
Well, the church I go to, my faith has a health code called the Word of Wisdom, and that's the kind of the no drinking, no smoking, and also in there is a big thing there about. I mean, not everybody who follows it is a vegetarian or a vegan, but the further you go into it, it kind of does say, well, it's not good, eat, and it's things like eat fruit and food when it's in season and what have you. And so that's one of my reasons as well. It's one of my bolstering up reasons, shall we say? For and it is to say it is a health code, and we are also one of the churches that has some very healthy people. It also has some very unhealthy people, because you can go the other way. I mean, donuts can be vegan, but.
So tell me about your writing. What have you done? What's your writing journey?
Well, again, that was another thing that started off when I was a kid, when I used to run around the house sort of pinning people down and telling them stories and poems. And then as I went through school, it was kind of something that, being, shock horror, a quiet child, I was more sort of in my own head and, made all my own little worlds and little stories and stuff. And as soon as I was actually able to make marks on paper, that was kind of where it all started. So it started off with like short stories, poems, being sort of asked to do things for the school magazine. And then I got into playwriting and short film writing. And the thing is, then stories started getting longer, and the short plays, everything started getting longer. So I just, in the end, thought, I'll blow it. I'm just going to start writing books. So, and actually one of my favourite characters that I have is a vampire who is actually a vegan, apart from the whole blood thing. But he's found a way around that as well. Well, the thing is, you always find that vampires, they never eat food. And I thought, well, I'll give him a bit of my journey, and the fact that he can't eat food because being a vampire has made him allergic to food until he finds the things that he can eat. And it turns out that,
so he's a politically correct one then.
He's a politically correct one. Doesn't see why everything needs to be hurt.
Yeah, so he's an ethical one. So he doesn't. Yeah. Okay, so he's a plant-based vampire. Okay, that's different. That's something different. So, what sort of things do you like to cook as a vegan? Tell me kind of your favorite things to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What sorts of things do you like to have?
Oh my gosh, everything really. I love overnight oats, because I can never be sure how the day's going to kick off. So as long as I know I've got something in the fridge ready to go, I'm good. Things like banana oat pancakes. I love those. Just banana oats, oat milk. I mean, that's weird, isn't it? Making porridge with milk that's made of oats. But hey, it's like having falafel and hummus. Just whiz it up, fry it. Lunch is, I would like to be good and say it's always salads, but it's not. It's things like toasted sandwiches. It will be salads sometimes. A bit more salads now that the things are starting to grow in the garden. So at a certain point in the year, it has to be salad, because otherwise it's just yards and yards of green stuff growing, and I have to eat it. But dinner, I tend to like roving around the world a little bit with my recipes. I love your recipes. They're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. I mean, jackfruit, who knew?
Yeah.
And Indian cooking, because I was always a big fan of that. And because, I mean, that was one of the first things really that was obviously whole foods plant-based, because, you know, there's so many things you can do with a lentil.
Yes.
But one of my favourite recipes is something I came up with when I was a student, mostly to annoy other students.
Okay.
And I called it rat pie.
Rat pie.
Rat pie.
It doesn't sound appetizing, but do tell what's in a rat pie.
Basically, it's like a cottage pie in which there are no cottages.
True.
But the base of it is ratatouille.
Ah, okay.
With any sort of beans or lentils or stuff thrown in, and then the top is mash with loads of fried onion and garlic and nooch in it. I mean, I only discovered nooch in the past few years, so the nooch is a recent addition. But then that's it. It's like that's it.
Okay, so what's nooch?
Oh, nutritional yeast.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely cheesy stuff. That's when
yes, I use it.
B12, and I found one recently that has iron in it as well, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But oh gosh,
I use Nutritional Yeast. I've never heard it called Nooch for short. So
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. No problem. Yeah. So I mean, I love cooking, obviously. I come up with recipes all the time. I think I just find it like a really lovely creative process. But for me, just to share what I have for breakfast, I love granola. I love muesli, but also I like pancakes as well. I like to sometimes have just like a raw muesli breakfast. So it's like lots of different fruit with sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and some nuts. And that mixed together is really nice. It's actually quite filling as well.
Takes a while to eat too.
It does, yes. I try to stick to kind of 2 meals a day, because I find as you move on in years, the pounds just appear regardless of what you eat. So I'm just careful.
That's what I'm doing wrong.
What I eat. Yeah. So I love all kinds of different vegan things, but I do love. But my go-to at the moment is bulgur wheat. I love bulgur wheat.
Yes.
I've discovered the brown bulgur wheat. I usually have the golden one, but there's the brown one. I really like that one. I got that one from Amazon. I love cauliflower rice, broccoli rice, all of those. And they're so easy to make, because I bought the cauliflower rice in the shop.
Okay.
And when you buy it, it doesn't taste quite as nice. You kind of have to do it so that it's a bit dry, but when you buy it, you find it a bit soggy.
Oh, yes.
Yes. But it's so easy to make. So I love cauliflower rice. But fun fact, I actually don't like cauliflower.
How is this possible?
It doesn't make any sense. I don't like cauliflower, but with cauliflower rice, I put like a little bit of garlic, thyme, rosemary, things in it, and season it so it's got a nice flavor. And I'll put a little bit of turmeric in it as well, little peppers and so forth in it, like sweet pepper, bell pepper in it as well. So when you do that, and then you have it with something else, like a mushroom and lentil curry or chickpea curry or something, it tastes wonderful. And the calorie thing, it's very healthy for you as well.
Yes.
So I love things like that. I really love rice, but I don't really have much rice anymore because it's just not good for you, really. So the bulgur wheat, to me, it tastes like rice. There's not much difference in terms of the flavor and texture. It's very similar. And then things like cauliflower rice and broccoli rice and things like that, or you can mix it together, cauliflower, broccoli rice. Those things work for me. Yeah, definitely. And my staple, if I was stuck on a desert island and I could only have one thing to eat, I love plantain. Love it. Boiled, baked, fried. I don't care. I love it.
Are they a type of banana?
I don't know if I think it's some kind of relation, but it's not a banana. It's bigger.
My husband hates bananas. I think he's allergic to them. But he was a bit wary about plantain because I did sort of actually try plantain. Oh my goodness, caramelized. Oh, with a curry, just fabulous. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Any which way I can get it is. I love that. And I don't mind some raw food recipes as well thrown in. Those are good because I do like a stew kind. Well, it's stew. It's not kind of like a regular stew. It's got like almonds in it, and then really finely diced carrots, and then you put like a mango salsa sauce on top, and it's got all kind of stuff in it. So that things like that I like. So I don't mind some of the raw food recipes because they're quite filling as well. Yes. So things like that I find really satisfying. So in terms of veganism, what have been the biggest challenges you say with regards to being a vegan for you?
It's the fact that everybody has an argument against it.
I mean,
and the arguments as people are becoming more and more educated about veganism without actually doing it, the questions that you get thrown at you become more and more intricate. I mean, originally it's kind of where'd you get your protein from? And now it's starting to be, but where'd you get your B12 from? But I tell you what, if somebody asks me, where'd you get your methionine from? I'm ready for them. I've got the answer for them. So, but yeah, it's also, I think, well, if you're actually making the effort to learn these things about veganism, why are you still not vegan? And it's the other daft things like, but lions, but canine teeth. And you think, well, how often do you see a lion down Sainsbury's? But they're banned because they never put the trolleys back. That's what it is. You can see the cast of the Lion King hiding out by the yogurt section. Wilbur, remember to take the pound out of the trolley.
Well, in terms of the negativity that you can sometimes get, what I try to do is avoid the questions, or sometimes people say, oh, where do you get your protein? I said, well, there's many sources of protein. You get protein in broccoli, you can get protein in nuts, in beans and pulses. There's many sources of protein that you can get as a vegan. And then people say, oh, but vegan food is really expensive. Now they do have an argument to a point, because there are some
vegan stuff. Processed stuff, yeah.
There are some of them, and I think I really don't understand why it costs that much. But to me, I just say to them, okay, if we're both going shopping and you're going to buy meat and I'm not going to buy meat, I'm going to buy beans and pulses, who's spending more money? And even if you're on a budget and you've got these poundable fruits and veg, it's never going to be the same amount of money you spend out as you do if you buy meat and fish. So it is cheaper. It just depends on what you choose to buy. And then sometimes people say, oh, but vegan food doesn't taste good. And I say, no, I wouldn't say it doesn't taste good. I say whoever cooked the vegan food that you had that doesn't taste good, they can't cook. That's all that is. So
that's a challenge to me. That it doesn't taste good. Right. Come round for dinner. I'll show you.
Absolutely. So I say to them, well, the person who cooked it just didn't do a good job. You can't say all vegan food doesn't taste good. Or people say the classic one, oh, I don't eat vegan food. And I say, oh, okay, really? Have you never had any fruit? No.
Yeah. Never had beans on toast?
Yeah, no. Never had a vegetable in your life? No. Oh, because I always say to people, on the plate that you have for your dinner, there is a certain percentage of what you already have is vegan. So if you're having your meat and 2 veg, the veg is already vegan. It's just the meat. So they don't really recognize things like that. So I always try to help people, because sometimes people say, I want to be vegan, but I don't know how to do it. And I always say, start slowly. Just start really slowly and build from there. So, for example, just switch out all the snacks for a week, and then keep a diary, and then start thinking of different vegan breakfasts and then keep a diary and then lunch and then dinner. Do that over a process of about a month or 4 to 6 weeks. And the reason for keeping the diary is you're going to reach a point where you think, I don't know what to have. Go back to the diary and only keep a list of the things you like. Don't keep, if you didn't like it, don't write it down. Just keep a list of all the stuff that you like, and then you can go back to it. And that works really well because people say, oh, right, I didn't think of that. And I didn't think to start slowly. I thought I just had to stop on a certain date and then thereon. I'm like, no.
Yeah, your gut will not thank you.
No.
Suddenly go, especially if you go Whole Foods.
Yeah, yeah, because it's such a shock to the system. I said a lot of things in nature are done slowly. It's like your hair grows slowly. Human beings grow slowly. You know, changes to the body are usually quite slow. So, you know, if you want to do it and to make it sustainable, have to have a slow process in how you do it. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so if somebody is a new vegan, what tips would you give them? If somebody says, right, I want to be vegan, don't know what to eat, don't know what to do, what sort of tips would you give them?
I mean, I would say possibly the thing with the diary is keep a diary of what you are eating at the moment and just go through it and tick off the things that are already vegan.
Absolutely.
Because if you're already eating it, you're already liking it.
Yeah.
So you've got your things there, and then it's literally, as you say, swap it out. Find your favorite recipes. See if there's what's in there that's not making it vegan. Swap it out, just because it's just sometimes it will be just one ingredient. And you know, be adventurous and remember, it's not about what you're not eating. It's about all the things that you are now able to eat. I mean, like I said, jackfruit.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't even know what that was a few years ago.
Okay.
And always remember why you're doing it, because even when write down, I am doing this because there are times, you know, when you might meet somebody negative, somebody who is going to question why you're doing it. And then you can look back and go, well, no, I sometimes need to be reminded that's why I'm doing it. And I would say find one absolute killer recipe and take it to a party.
Yes.
And watch it disappear. And then you can sit back and go, oh, yes.
Yes, definitely. I would agree with that, because I was working somewhere years ago and they said, oh, we're going to have like some kind of get together because I think somebody was leaving. So they said, oh, if people bring in, you know, some nibbles. So I said, oh, I'll bring in some cupcakes. I thought I'll do that because then I'll have something that I definitely know I can have.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They had the cupcakes and then they disappeared. And then somebody went, I thought Suzanne was a vegan, because my name is Kirly-Sue, but my real name is Suzanne. They said, I thought you were a vegan. I said, I am. So then how come you made cupcakes? I said, those cupcakes were vegan. And they were like, oh, I did not know that vegan cupcakes could taste like that. I just thought, well, they don't have to taste awful if you make them with a good recipe. They're done properly. And they went, oh, right, I need the recipe. So,
oh, great.
You know,
which is better than the other reaction, which is that, I thought they tasted funny, which is what I often get. Well, is that vegan? Yes. Yeah, I thought there was something off about it.
I think it's probably psychological, because what could they be tasting?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I started off by taking one dish along and watching it disappear, and me not having then anything, to ending up taking probably about a week's worth of food along with me, because I know it will disappear first. So
that's great.
And at least then I get something to eat.
Absolutely. So what has been your experience of eating out as a vegan?
To be honest, I don't eat out a great deal, and I have to say it's getting better. But I mean, there's always been, you pick carefully, and there's always been something. I mean, it's not always, I mean, the popular view is it's always the chips or the salad. But I mean, yes, it has been that on occasion. But I think, like, for example, within Indian food,
yes,
you can pick that very carefully. I mean, as long as you don't go for the creamy dishes.
Yes.
I mean, there's a takeaway down the road that does an absolutely banging chana masala. Oh, just so good. And it just not being afraid to kind of look around. Again, I think there's a lot of, this is going to sound bad, but a lot of British food, I think, is, as you say, it's like the meat and two veg. So if you don't have the meat, then what else is there to have? But again, there's lots of things now that are becoming more popular, and people are just finding ways around things. And it's the same as well when you go around to people's houses for dinners. It's getting easier. I mean, like my mother-in-law makes an amazing shepherd's pie now, again containing no shepherds, but with vegan mince. It is delicious. But yes, that reminds me. One time, a friend took me round to another friend's house and said that I couldn't have meat and I couldn't have dairy. They were like, "Oh yes, I can cook for anybody." And I got there and it was lasagna.
Okay.
Beef, cheese,
how does that
cream.
Work? Oh, and they thought that was suitable for you.
Yeah. And my friend sort of took me to one side and said, "She can't eat any of this." And their reply was, "But it's all chopped up, so it should be fine."
What? So how does that help? I've had some that I've never heard one like that before. It's all chopped up. Okay, that's
it's just.
So I went to a wedding once and I said, "Oh, I ordered the vegan option." They said, "Oh, no problem. The fish is coming soon." So I thought, so how does that help me? Hello? It's weird. I think there needs to be some kind of campaign or something that helps people to know that a vegan is somebody who does not eat any meat, fish, dairy, eggs, or honey.
Yes, that well-known vegetable of the sea.
Yes. So people, for some reason, they still don't understand, because some people don't understand the difference between vegan and vegetarian.
Yeah.
So in case you're listening, a vegetarian is somebody who eats no meat and no fish, but they do have dairy products. And then there are people who eat fish and call themselves vegetarian. They're confused because they're not. They're pescatarian. And that, I think, causes a lot of problems because people claim to be things that they're not. So that causes confusion. But I think it's getting a lot better, and it's a lot easier nowadays. And there's more education around, vegan options, and vegan options are starting to becoming popular and trendy. And thank you to all the celebrities who have helped with that. You've been wonderful. Mwah, 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 to all of you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, yes, get it out there. Make it an everyday thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying about weddings. I went to a wedding once and asked for the vegan option, and everybody else was having their prawn cocktail for the starter, and I had this lovely sort of very intricate fruit salad, and I thought that was fabulous. Oh, lovely. And then the main course came, and everybody else was eating their corpses and stuff, and mine came, and it was this lovely little fort intricately made out of asparagus sticks, filled with fruit salad. I'm not even going to bother telling you what the dessert was.
Fruit salad.
Fair play to them. It was 100% vegan, but it was just fruit salad dominated.
And the dessert was fruit salad?
How did you guess?
There's some weird people around, because I went to an event and my friend was organizing it, and I said to her, when I came a bit early, and I said, have you got the vegan options? And she said to me, "Could you do me a big favor? Can you just go in the kitchen and speak to the chef, because I did order them and he's kind of deer in headlights. He doesn't know what to do." So I had to go into the kitchen and say, "Right, we've got less than an hour to go. Have you got this? Have you got that?" And I kind of just helped him to make a dish, and he was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize it was actually that easy. I went,
yes.
Just didn't know. And then other events I've gone to, if it's like a sit down meal, what I do, I've got a food flask, little food flask about.
Yeah.
And I put, I went to one just before the lockdown, and I put some chickpea curry in it. so it was kept warm. So when I got there, they said, oh yeah, there's vegan options. There wasn't, but there was enough of all the other things that I just put the chickpea curry on the side with it, and it was fine. And then there was a lady sitting next to me. She went, oh, that's a really good idea because I'm vegan. I went, oh, okay, no problem, let's share. There you go. Oh. So yeah, there's always a way forward. I try not to be the complaining vegan. There's no vegan options. Well, you know that things are as they are, and until they improve, always have some kind of backup anyway.
Yes, always have a smile and a backup.
Yes, because sometimes I will bring some. My favorite grapes are Sable Grapes. I'm a bit bougie when it comes to grapes. It's a type of grape. Yeah. So what
I've heard of them, but I don't know what they are.
Okay, they're like usually you can get them in Waitrose and sometimes in Morrison's and Tesco's. Sable Grapes. Okay. I love those kinds of grapes. So what I do sometimes is if I'm going to an event and there's probably not going to be a vegan dessert, I'll just take some of those with me, and then I've got mine, and I'm
sorted.
Yes, very nice. Definitely. But we've come to the end of our time. It's been lovely speaking to you. So
I really enjoyed it.
Yes, so it's been lovely. So do you have like a website for your writing or anything like that?
I do indeed.
Okay, so if people wanted to get in touch with you about anything, where could they find you?
Well, I'm on, see, I can remember them all now. I'm on Twitter as _Theresa Hedges, and I'm on Instagram, probably as something similar. And my author website is author.to/ I don't know why I'm doing this thing with my hands. Theresa Hedges, capital T HERESA, capital HED. I can't even spell my own name. HEDGES.
Okay. So. All right, that's great. Well, it's been wonderful speaking to you.
Thank you so much. I loved it.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
Yes, it's hoping. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.